Some of the books that I've recommended to y'all, I actually soft DNF'd it at first. I know. I feel bad about keeping that secret. So now I'm finally going to tell y'all which books those were. Just in case maybe you tried to read it and you had to DNF it yourself. I'm finally going to talk about them. So let's get into the video. Hey y'all, welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona. So we're just gonna get straight into it. You will notice if you are a regular subscriber here, my voice is a little bit different. I got a little bit of a cold, but the show must go on, okay? So we have to continue talking about these books. One thing that I like to say is it could be the right book in just the wrong time. And that has been the case for me so many times. So I really do not mind softly DNFing a book and just being like, listen, I'm just gonna go back to that. This is not the right time. Sometimes you just have to allow yourself like a little bit of space to just revisit some things. So the first one is going to be very much a surprise to y'all, but you know, the cat's out the bag now. The Book of Night Women by Marlon James. So originally, yes, I did softly DNF this book. If you don't know what this book is about, this book is set in Jamaica. We meet a girl named Lilith. She ends up on a plantation. The women who also work on this plantation, they are called night women. They meet and they plot and plan. And when Lilith arrives, she becomes kind of like a very important person for them to try to get this done. And things don't always go according to their plans because Lilith is the type of character that really, you know, dances to the beat of her own drum. That is also what makes this book very, very interesting. Now, initially, I read this book in 2018 according to Goodreads, and I initially DNF'd this book because one, I was reading it with my eyes, and for some reason when I was reading it with my eyes, I just couldn't focus. I had not come across an author that wrote like Marlon James before, and I was just like, wait, I gotta go back. Wait, what is he saying? You know, his writing absolutely required me to fully focus. And I'm someone that I could be reading 3 to 5 books at the same damn time at any moment, you know. But this is not a book that you typically would be reading other books at the same time with. This book requires your full attention. It requires you to take time. You might want to take some notes or something. He doesn't write anything simply. I just couldn't focus at the time. So what I did was, when I decided to go back to it, I said, let me try the audio. And when I tell you, the audio was just, it was exactly what I needed. And Robin Miles, who was one of my favorite audiobook narrators, she tore this book up. She tore this book down, okay? See, this is how I know that Robin Miles is that girl, okay? I'm gonna tell you. Because I have listened to many audiobooks narrated by Robin Miles. I don't think that there is a accent she can't do. I've heard her be Irish. I've heard her be a southern white man, an old southern white man. I've heard her Jamaican, like she is in this book. You know, this is what I like. This is what I mean when I'm talking about like good narration. You know, it is an art. Okay, don't just read the book, perform the thing. You know, I went back to my Goodreads to see what was my review, and I said that I thought this was a full cast narration. Like, sis was putting on a one-woman show, okay? She was all kinds of characters, and I legit initially thought that this was a full cast. I do remember going back and being like, wait a second, who all on here? And it was literally just her. Just her. So kudos to Robin Miles for doing the damn thing. When I went back to this book and I went back to it on audio, I was like, yo, what was I thinking ever putting this down? Like, I could not stop listening to it, and the way Robin Miles performs it is just, you just feel like you're there. Like, everything just feels so real. Like, the stakes seem so high. I just absolutely love this book so much, and I'm so glad that I came back to it. And the next book that I went back to would be Hungry Ghost by Kevin Jared Hosein. To this day, I still don't understand why not enough people are talking about this book. By the time I was done, I was absolutely blown away. This book is set in Trinidad. Before the book fully starts, what happens in this first scene is completely the backdrop of this whole book. I think that when I first picked this one up, it was more so like, where is this going? You know, this book is set in 1940s Trinidad, and we're following a few people. It's kind of like we're looking down on this whole scene of everything that's happening in this area of Trinidad. We have these people that live in this really poor area where it's called the barracks, and it's whole families living in this area with nothing but like a sheet separating them. You know, adults don't really have privacy. They're like on the floor and they're sleeping with their whole family together. So they're very, very poor, and they're just kind of doing what they can to get by, you know, as neighbors, and helping each other however they can. One of the families we follow is Shweta and Hans, and they have a son named Krishna. So they are pretty much a very strong part of this novel, because Hans works for a very rich couple that lives up at the top, right, in like a mansion. And the husband that he was working for goes missing. It leaves his damsel in distress of a wife home in this mansion by herself, right? And Hans decides that, you know, he will go and stay there at this mansion with her to make sure that she's safe and nobody messes with her until the husband reappears. So he has now left his own family in the barracks so he can go, you know, under the premise of, okay, I'm gonna make some extra money, and he goes and he stays there. And that is when everything gets wild for the night. Like, everything goes crazy after this. I cannot even tell you. Highly unexpected. Krishna, the son, he has his own things going on, okay? That boy's stressed. There's also some magical realism going on in this book. Like, it is a lot going on that I absolutely was not expecting, and I'm so glad that I decided to just go back to it and like, let me just give this book a good shot, because I really couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. I was interested, but I really was just like, but where's this going? You know? And something told me to just go back to it. And I did, and I'm so glad. And next up, we have Clear Water by Nina, which should probably also be a surprise, because I love this book by Nina. It's one of my favorite books by Nina. And I remember exactly why initially I soft DNF'd this. It's because if you know Nina's most famous book series, it is the On Us series. If you want to read this series, you have to start at Front Street Porter, and then you have to go through On Us 1 through 3, and then you will land at Clearwater, which is the book that I'm talking about. So Front Street Porter, On Us, they all have a certain type of feel to them, right? Where it's drama, it's mess, it's toxicity. So when I went into Clearwater, I was trying to figure out, wait a second, what's going on? Because I was barreling through the On Us series so that I could get to Clearwater. And when I got to Clearwater, I was just like, what is going on? First of all, let me tell you, it follows a different character. Okay, so now we're meeting a brand new character that we don't even know. Like, I was just like, who is this person? You know? I want the Porter boys. I want the Porter brothers. And you do get them in this book, but you get them in little spurts. This book has a very different feel than the rest of the books in the series, and I understand why, because this is a different character. The character that we're following in this book, they're chill. They're chill. They're not with all the drama. And I think that it was just such a shock to me, because I came into it expecting drama and looking for it, if I'm honest. Because I was just like, I'm in the mood for, you know, people acted up. And I didn't get that. I was just like, what is going on? Like, it felt like such a slower pace. And it is a slower pace because, you know, obviously what I just told you. So if you've also DNF'd Clearwater because of that reason, give it a shot. Go back to it. I promise it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Just you know, keep going. And that ended up being like really one of my favorite Nina books, because it became a breath of fresh air for me within the Porter Brothers series, as opposed to like, you know, what is this? So I'm glad I went back to it. And next up is going to be Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. I actually have not told to y'all about this book in a hot minute. So this is a fantasy retelling of the Indian epic Ramayana. This is specifically focusing on the vilified queen Kaikeyi. We're getting the story from her point of view, and you just kind of see that this woman really just did whatever she had to do for her kids. Talk about a mother that's willing to just do whatever. That was her. That was her. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was a big surprise for me, because I don't know the original story of Ramayana, and I literally had no expectations. I really just didn't. But initially, when I started reading this book, I was just like, because of the fantasy of it all, like I was just getting like, what is happening? What is going on here? And then I had something else that I was reading, so I was just like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't have time to figure it out right now. Mind you, this book is also like 500 something pages. So again, my patience was like this thin, because I was just like, and it's long, and I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to go back to this. And I said, give it one more shot. Just give it one more shot. And when I went back to it, I was hooked. When I went back to it, something happens, and it had me hooked. I could not put this book down when I got to that certain point. I was just like, oh no. Okay. So now I see why I should keep reading this. Okay. It was like, oh, word, come harder. That that is literally what it's like. The book knew that, you know, it had one more shot to prove something to me. I don't know. But yeah, I'm so glad that I continue with this book. I love reading books and retellings from other cultures, because I never heard of this. I never heard of Ramayana. Okay, and next up, the book that, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I really did not think I was going to go back to this book. And I have also heard from other people, like, should I continue with this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should DNF. I've heard these words from other people. And I get it. I completely get it. And that is going to be Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So this is a retelling of the Trojan War told from the perspective of Patroclus. And At first, it's so boring. Like, listen, y'all know I wouldn't lie. At first, this book is so boring. It's just like, yo, get to the war already. What is happening? Yeah. Once you gotta get to the meat. You gotta get to the meat of this book for it to feel like, oh, okay. You know, things is happening. War is warring. You know, you really gotta get to the meat in this one. So, I do tell people that, like, give it a chance. And it very well could work. And for me, it worked. You know, it very much worked. I very much enjoyed this. I felt accomplished because I do like retellings, and this was a really good one. This was a pretty damn good one, and it was nice to compare this book against other things that I've seen regarding the Trojan War. That was good. That was good to see. If that's your reasoning for DNFing this one, you might want to try to go back. Give it like a strong 30, like a strong 30%. I would say. So that is going to be it for the books that I originally DNF'd but decided to give a second chance. These second chances actually worked out. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever went back to a book and it just hit for you. Because I know it's not just me. I be soft DNFing all the time. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe one day I'm going to talk to y'all about the rest of these DNFs because I got a lot of them. Okay, and I don't know if everybody deserves a second chance, but these certainly did, and I'm so glad that I did it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and hype it as well. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.